It is Tuesday, the 14th of January, 2025. My name is Pigeon Rose, and this is my song of the day. Here I am once again talking about Canada's own The Tragically Hip. Today we're talking about a song from their album Phantom Power, which you may recall is the same album that had Pigeon on it. And that song is Fireworks. This is one of their songs that I liked from the get-go. I mean, I think I said before how when I listened to their discography, I was kind of surprised that none of their albums were bad. Not that I expect them to be bad, but like all their albums were really good, you know what I mean? Like, none of their albums are below a 7, which is pretty good track record, and they have several 10s. But because of this, some of the songs kind of washed over me, and I didn't really pay much attention to this song. It was just like, it was a good, fun rock song, whatever, until I watched the big Gord Downie farewell final concert thing. And if I remember correctly, this is like one of the last songs they play. I can't actually remember. Yeah, no, I think it's like the final one before the encore or something. And I was just kind of surprised because I was like, oh, this isn't like a song I think of when I think of the Tragically Hip. And they sang it and I was like, oh, I get this song now. I was actually like paying attention to the lyrics and like getting the message of it. I was like, oh no, I actually really love this song. So we're talking about it today. So let's go ahead and listen to it and then come back in a few minutes and talk about it. And that's Fireworks by The Tragically Hip. Man, I love that song. Such great energy to it. Take another shot because I'm going to talk about the driving beat of this song. No, This song is really interesting because lyrically, it's about the scope of a relationship of a couple who've been together for a long time. And it's kind of about like contrasting their relationship with things that were going on in the world at the time and saying like, we have gotten through so much world conflict that we can get through anything, basically. And that's great. I love that. And it's said in the most Canadian way possible because it is The Tragically Hip and it is Gord Downie. So it opens with a hockey reference, of course. The song opens with, if there's a goal that everyone remembers, it was back in old 72. We all squeezed the stick and we all pulled the trigger and all I remember is sitting beside you. You said you didn't give a fuck about hockey and I never saw someone say that before. You held my hand and we walked home the long way. You were loosening my grip on Bobby Orr. Isn't it amazing anything's accomplished when the little sensation gets in your way? Not one ambition whispering over your shoulder. Isn't it amazing you can do anything? So the goal that he's referring to in 72 is the 1972 Summit Series between Canada and Russia. The winning goal was scored by a Canadian player called Paul Henderson, and apparently it was like a really big obviously I'm not Canadian and I wasn't alive in 1972, so I don't remember this, but apparently it was such like a big game that like school was stopped and students watched the game, and it's like it was the hockey shot that was heard around the country sort of thing. And so like if there's a goal that everyone remembers, it was back in old 72. We all squeezed the stick and we all pulled the trigger. So it's like, you know, everyone watching it was so caught up in the moment, it felt like they were holding the hockey stick. It felt like they were taking the shot, you know, pull the trigger being the metaphor for that. And then he says, and all I remember is sitting beside you. So he's talking about like watching the hockey game with her, and he doesn't remember the hockey game as much as he remembers watching it with her because she's what's important to him, right? So then the next verse goes into, you said you didn't give a fuck about hockey and I never saw someone say that before. I love that so much. That 1-2 punch of those two lines is so good. It's so Canadian. I never saw someone say that before. You held my hand and we walked home the long way. You were loosening my grip on Bobby Orr. So Bobby Orr is another famous hockey player. He played for the Boston Bruins, which was Gord Downie's favorite hockey team. So this lyric is saying, you know, you were holding my hand and because of my love for you, I was kind of drifting from hockey because I was drifting towards my love for you. So you were loosening my grip on Bobby Orr, you know. Isn't it amazing anything's accomplished when the little sensation gets in your way? Not one ambition whispering over your shoulder. Isn't it amazing you can do anything? So this idea, it sounds like he's saying like love is such a strong emotion that it's wild that we can do anything when we feel love all the time. Then the next bit, we hung out together every single moment because that's what we thought married people do, complete with the grip of artificial chaos and believing in the country of me and you. Crisis of faith and crisis in the Kremlin, and yeah, we'd heard all of that before. It's winter time, the house is solitude with options and loosening the grip on a fake Cold War. Isn't it amazing what you can accomplish accomplish when you don't let the nation get in your way, not one ambition whispering over your shoulder. Isn't it amazing you can do anything? So he's contrasting here the hockey discussion from the first verse with the Cold War that was going on at the time, and talking about how, much like hockey, he kind of wasn't paying attention to news events because he was paying attention to her, right? We hung out together every single moment because that's what we thought married people do. That's a very telling line there. But, he's saying that they're kind of figuring out the relationship as they go and kind of doing what they think they're supposed to do, complete with the grip of artificial chaos. So the artificial chaos is, of course, the Cold War, and believing in the country of me and you. So not believing in Canada or believing in America or believing in Russia or whatever, believing in the country of me and you. We're the ones who matter. Crisis of faith and crisis in the Kremlin, and yeah, we'd heard all that before. The delivery here is always great. But, he's comparing this back to the game against Russia. It's wintertime, the house is solitude with options, and loosening the grip on a fake Cold War. So, like the first verse, just talking about how, he's caring about these things less because he's caring about her more. And then, isn't it amazing what you can accomplish when you don't let the nation get in your way? That's just solidifying the whole thing. Then the next bit, next to your comrades in the National Fitness Program, caught in some eternal flexed arm hang, dropping to the mat in a fit of laughter, showed no patience, tolerance, or restraint. Fireworks exploding in the distance, temporary towers soar, fireworks emulating heaven till there are no stars anymore. Fireworks aiming straight at heaven, temporary towers soar till there are no stars shining up in heaven, till there are no stars anymore. Isn't it amazing what you can accomplish when little sensation gets in your way, no ambition whispering over your shoulder? Isn't it amazing what you can accomplish? This one thing probably never goes away. I think this one thing is always supposed to stay. This one thing doesn't have to go away. So, the National Fitness Program. This was a thing in Canada that was supposed to be like a way to promote physical education and health, but it ended up backfiring, not actually really working. So next to your comrades, the use of the word comrade, by the way, feels very loaded to refer to the Russians again, Next to your comrades, the National Fitness Program, caught in some eternal flexed arm hang, dropping to the mat in a fit of laughter, showed no patience, tolerance, or restraint. Just the attitude of laughing at the tests. And then fireworks exploding in the distance, temporary towers soar, fireworks emulating heaven till there are no stars anymore. This whole bit could mean a lot of things, could be about celebration, but apparently, according to someone on Genius, I don't know what their source is, they said that Gord said that this is about the music industry and how it treats artists and how they make it big for a time and then disappear like a star or like a firework. I don't know where they're getting that from, but it makes sense to me. It just seems like a weird thing to put in this song. And then he repeats the chorus again, and then you get this one thing probably never goes away. I think this one thing is always supposed to stay. This one thing doesn't have to go away. So I think that's just talking at the end there about love, the sensation of love in their relationship. It doesn't have to go away because, all of these other things went away, but we still have each other. And I just think it's a really sweet song and a really kind of empowering in a way message, and full of just great lines. Like you said, you didn't give a fuck about hockey, and I never saw someone say that before. It's great. I love how Canadian this band is. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Musically, it's a pretty, not straightforward, like, not to say that it's simple, but like it kind of is the same thing for the whole song, but it's great. It's just like it's just a good rock tune, That's pretty much it, I guess. Thank you so much for listening. Please hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below, tell me what you think, tell other people about this show. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
Break it down.
So it opens with a golf.